Mire, nosotros quemamos, le voy a decir por qué. Porque como la maleza es muy gruesa, se botan palos gruesos, no se puede sembrar así entre la basura, ¿no? Entonces se quema para que quede limpia la tierra, ¿no? Yo sé que se va deteriorando la tierra. Se lava, la flor de la tierra se pierde. Yo entiendo eso. Pero no tenemos otra opción para poder sembrar. ¿Me entiende?
This story of slash and burn farming is the same throughout the humid tropics, a slowly enacted catastrophe. Forest landscapes are reduced to this: weeds and scrub as far as the eye can see. When the trees disappear, a process is set in motion. Exposed soils allow a flood of invasive weeds. Farmers face a battle to remove them, both by hand and with toxic chemicals. Fertility fails fast, forcing farmers to use chemical fertilizers, short-lived and increasingly expensive. When the soils finally fail completely, farmers simply burn elsewhere, consuming more of what little forest is left. The effects of more than 250 million slash and burn farmers have repercussions around the world. It's estimated that slash and burn releases up to 2 billion tons of carbon a year, more than all global transport. In Central America alone, food and economic insecurity are the main drivers of migration, which is only increasing as our climate continues to become ever more unstable. Alley cropping with Inga is changing all of this.
Mira, arriba hay.
The seeds of this nitrogen-fixing tree are harvested, prepared, and sown in nurseries. They're planted in alleys as seedlings or seeds. Inga develops quickly into natural erosion barriers that follow the contours of the land. The corridors close over, smothering the weeds with leaf litter and shade. Crops are sown under the leaf litter into soil that is cool and moist, and farmers can work in the shade of the trees.
Esta es roca fosfórica.
Instead of expensive chemical fertilizers, they apply a coarse, mineral-rich mixture of rock phosphate, curing the soils themselves. At the right time, the trees are pruned back. Thinner branches can be placed between the trunks to better control erosion, and leaves are lightly chopped to kickstart decomposition. As the leaf litter dries, protecting the soil from the sun, crops begin to push through. The weeds cannot, eliminating the need for herbicides. This land was considered sterile. These huge quantities of maize were grown during a drought. And this farmer was the only one in the area to get a crop. And basic grains are not limited to maize. The system encourages biological control, eliminating the need for insecticides. These ants, fed by the nectar glands of the trees, are just one of many insect species that protect both trees and crops.
Una vez, hubo un año, hicimos en el día lo que teníamos que hacer en un mes. Lo hicimos en el día.
¿Qué más se le puede pedir a la vida? Si todo lo tenemos.
And cash crops are not limited to rambutan. The system is ideal for organic cacao, for national and international markets, organic black pepper, as well as turmeric, vanilla, coffee. The list keeps growing. The weeds that do manage to get through have shallow roots in the leaf litter, making them easy to pull out. The wood from pruning is used as firewood, relieving pressure on farmers and forests. Quantities are so plentiful that it can be sold or simply given away. Soils are brought back to life in this system that reproduces the forest's cycles of decomposition and renewal. The nitrogen that the Inga captures from the air, visible on the roots, nourishes fungi that release other nutrients into the soil for both trees and crops. As in a natural forest, the ecosystem is rebalancing, and this delicate symbiosis is increasingly visible to every farmer. The fungus forms a thick carpet, retaining moisture and protecting the soil. And it smells of pure life. In forests, trees help to control hydrology in a feedback loop. In the Inga system, landscapes are rehydrating.
Ya cuando yo ya arreglé, resultó y no se volvió a secar.
With food security and income stabilized, farmers can go a step further, planting timber.
Que esta planta solo tiene 5 años de ser sembrada. Es de la misma especie.
It's a long-term savings account that grows literally by itself, year on year.
También le da para arriba creciendo.
And wildlife is returning. In just one study, 20 times more bird species were counted in and around the plots than in the pastures next to them. Alley cropping with Inga meets 11 of the UN SDGs, with no negative effects on the rest. In this 12-year pilot project alone, the system has avoided or sequestered almost 900,000 tons of carbon. The change of whole landscapes is being driven by the same farmers that used to burn it. Join us and help us take it even further.